This is the ultimate sketchbook tour with Angie Mason. That's me. So I'm going to take a walk into my study, and I have a lot of books and things in here. It's what I call my sacred space. But in any case, I keep some of my more recent sketchbooks in here, and I thought I'd grab a chunk of them. It's a chunk of time. And here they are. Here they are. I love my sketchbooks. So this is a chunk of time ranging mostly, I think, from 2018 to 2021, through 2021. And I thought it'd be really fun to do sort of like this mega sketchbook tour where I go through all of these. So let's get them. I have them here, and let's begin. So this first sketchbook I am showing you is actually from the beginning part of 2021, January, February, and March. And I'm not going in particularly like any particular order. Just kind of grabbing the books. As I grab them, I'll see if they fall into a chronological order, but I'm not really thinking about that. And the bulk of these books were done between 2018 and 2021. There may be one or two that were from a different time period. We'll see as I open them, but the bulk of them were done during 2018 through 2021. And let's just enjoy flipping through the pages, shall we? I think there are going to be a lot of cat drawings throughout these books. I tend to do a lot of loose watercolors and just explorations, as you'll see. Pencils, pens, watercolor, gouache, really whatever I have around. Okay, I see that vaccine picture. There it is. I had a really painful arm. It was weird. As well as I just didn't, I had a lot of reactions, but I'm very happy I got the vaccine, for sure. Vaccinated and boosted. Okay, so that is a sketchbook I did in 2019, a travel journal I did when I was in Switzerland. So this is all from my 2019 trip in Switzerland, traveling around. It was an amazing, beautiful trip that I took. I believe it was in the summertime, like late spring, early summer. Just one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. Just gorgeous. So like mountains and castles and just delicious tiny potatoes, fondue. Just really an amazing, gorgeous trip that I feel really lucky to have done, and that I'm so glad that I did it when I did, since I haven't traveled since then, 2019. I had a trip planned for 2020, and that was to Scotland. It was canceled. I haven't really been anywhere since, except for, local day trips and road trips to upstate New York, around New Jersey, and bits of Pennsylvania. So it's nice to take a look back at this travel journal from another country. Those glorious big mountains, Alps. My Fungolina character I had placed in the bridge on Lake Lucerne. I did sort of a online find the art piece if you're in that area during that time. It was part of a worldwide mushroom art search. So this is, I think, a really quick sketchbook that I flipped through because I realized that one that you just looked at was from 20 2017 maybe? I didn't catch the date. I was busy talking. This one, I believe, is 2018. So this one is definitely 2018. I was going to a lot of protests, so there's like little sketches in here for protest signs, like concepting my protest signs, as well as lots and lots and lots of sketches, and cats. There's always going to be cats in my sketchbooks, like I said. There's some protest signs. This was when all the fires were raging out west. And you'll see when I flip through my books, it's not all precious drawings or paintings. It's messy, and there's writing. In my most recent sketchbook, I realized that because I need to write and process information, even if it's just simple task lists or whatever. I just need to write things down. But in my most recent sketchbook, which is not part of the Sketchbook Tour, I split it up, which I'm really liking, where the one half is all images, and then when I flip it over and I start from the other side, it's all writing, pretty much. Sometimes doodles get mixed in with my writing, but the bulk of it is writing, and somehow that helps me organize my brain better, and I'm liking it. But yeah, on these, I'm all over the place, and when I feel like writing, I'll write. So here's another sketchbook. I always like those little magical characters. Because I'm starting from the back on this one, so I'll tell you definitely what year it is once we get to the front of the book. I'm feeling like this one might be 2017. Like I said, there were a couple sketchbooks that snuck in here, but the bulk of them are from 2018 to 2021. Okay, so I see this book is actually 2016 sketchbook. It got snuck in there, but that's okay. I have a lot of sketchbooks that I'm going through here, so it's bound to happen. And you might hear some whistling wind in the background. I can't get a quiet room because it's just so windy outside. I always love drawing little square boxes and filling up the page and just coming up with a million different little ideas. It's really fun. Okay, now we're getting into a 2018 to 2019 sketchbook. You'll see my beach visits. I would go to the beach and just sit on the beach and do watercolors. Mushrooms. I saw there was a font. I did fonts. My Octafont. It's like an octopus-inspired font. This is the book that I drew out my letters in. So this one is a more recent one. I think this was I think it's 2021. Possibly done some in 2020, but it was definitely between that time period of 2020 or 2021. It's more recent. It's a little watercolor sketchbook. I keep multiple sketchbooks at the same time too. Like this one's a watercolor sketchbook. I did the Sketchbook Meditation, and this is what I drew during that time. I really like that Sketchbook Meditation. It's a really great session. It's a great reminder of how helpful those moments are. Taking that time to just give yourself space and draw and breathe. I'm always taking my little books with me when I'm traveling around and doing these little watercolors of places that I go to in the woods or wherever I am. More like emo atomica self-portraits in here. There you go. That was way Yonda State Park in New Jersey. One of my favorite parks in New Jersey. So peaceful and just lovely up there. Okay, so then this one, another sketchbook. I believe this is a 2018 sketchbook. Let's see if I'm wrong or right. We'll go through it. Yes, this is a 2018 through 2019 sketchbook. My beloved Seekers, Keepers, and Weirdos sketchbook. I actually, that's a name of a section on my art site where I have all the more recent works that I've done. So if you wanted to visit angiemason.com, you could check out my most recent works underneath that section name. But right now you could just peek through my journals and take a look at them with me. Okay, this is a 2018 sketchbook. I know the bulk of this one, which I'm going to just flip through really fast. Had a lot of information regarding my podcast, my Clarity Cloud podcast. I did, like that, Time Thieves was an episode on my Clarity Cloud podcasts. So there were a lot of episode artworks done in that sketchbook. Okay, so now we're getting into another sketchbook. This is a 2019 sketchbook. It's all 2019. The moth characters. I don't know if you were able to see the poem on that page. Very charming. I like it. The words on that page with the moth were, "Out of the darkness, into the light. Determined to get there, fight through the night by fluttering flight." If you've done sketchbook meditations with me, you'll see that I talk about just doing like spirals and shapes. You'll see a lot of that sort of throughout my pages. That's how I stay fluid and how I keep going and making things, even on those days when you feel like you don't think you can. Sometimes just making a simple spiral or shape and mark on a page is enough. I can also loosen you up to help you come upon bigger ideas. If you haven't done a sketchbook meditation with me, you can check out my YouTube channel. I have about I think 4 or 5 up now. They're all sort of slightly different themes and exercises. I hope you give them a watch and a listen and try them out with me. I find them really helpful. And always those eye problems. I'm just getting over a little eye infection right now. It's funny how the things we use, like our hands or my eyes, are the things that I use the most. And those are the things that I find that I have health issues with often. 'Cause I guess I use them a lot. And here's one of my mantras: dream yourself awake. And actually my other mantra that I always lived by was allow yourself to be lost in order to be found. Those are always close to my heart. So now we're getting into another sketchbook. Let's check it out. So this is a 2019 through 2020 sketchbook. I don't know if this is all the way to 2020 where the pandemic started. We'll see as we go along. I know that I have a very specific 2020 sketchbook, but this might touch upon it. We'll see. I can tell. Around the holidays, I can tell because I'm drawing holiday art. That's my house with my cat in the window. These are from dreams that I had. Some notes about it. Of course, there's Baby Yoda, Grogu. So I know that this book, actually, I kind of peeked ahead and looked through the book. And this one goes through 2020, but more towards, like, I'd say the January, February point, before like, the real big major lockdowns happened. So I see that toward the end I have there'll be notes for one of my fancy protest signs. When I went to the Women's March, I made these peace sign fingers. You'll see. It's coming up toward the end. Applehead girl. There they are. Peace sign fingers. That protest sign was the most fancy protest sign that I've ever made. It was gigantic. There's pictures of it on my blog, on my website. Super proud of it. It was actually featured in a news clip on MSNBC. They had me stand right front and center with my sign during the Women's March of 2020. So these are some of my Earth Demon drawings. That was the beginning of 2020. And now this is getting into, you'll see, the pandemic. There we go. Pandemic edition. Hold on to your hats. Here we go. This is where we're getting all our canceled plans, so everything's canceled. I had to cancel my trip to Scotland, as I mentioned earlier. So bummed about that, because everybody went through it. Such a weird thing to go through. I'm still going through it. It's a weird time to be alive. That guy who eats feldspar is from a dream. Funny little dude. I'm sure you all experienced really weird dreams during quarantine. I did a quarantine dream series. All the funny little characters that I would dream up. Such bizarre, twisted, colorful, detailed dreams. Did you have that? Did that happen to you? Oftentimes in my sketchbooks, I do jump around, so they're not chronological. I will just open up to a random page and start drawing, and then maybe go back pages and draw and fill out pages that were earlier in the book. So it's kind of like, it's like not chronological, it's not in a linear line, it's more, it's just fluid and goes in a circle, rather. You know, it moves around, and that's just the way most of my sketchbooks work, at least in the past. You know, right now the one I'm working on seems to be page by page that I'm staying in order, but these, I do jump around, so sometimes what you think is older is actually earlier, and vice versa. A lot of Corn Dreams series drawings in here. And I'm sure you saw recipes. I'm sure everyone was cooking during the pandemic and lockdowns. Did you break bread? Did you break bread? Did you bake bread? I know I did. Among a million other different delicious dishes. Okay, so now this is 2021. Let's take a look. It's a hemi-gouache mushroom. Did that drawing when I was on a road trip up in upstate New York. I saw sort of this cliffside when I was turning a corner, and it just looked like a character. So I drew it. Like I mentioned before, I always have to have words. There's a lot of words going on in here. I write, I draw, I write, I draw. Balance it out. It's my process. So my sketchbooks that I call the Angie journals are one of my favorite places to spend time. And I've been doing this for years. I mean, definitely through high school till now. And I have all those books. They're in my closet archive. I built some shelves and I have them all stored away in there. So this is just a small chunk of time, but it gives you a peek inside all of my journals. And you can see my process. You can see that they're messy and they explore different materials. They're not precious. They tell stories, they have words, images. And they're just one of my favorite places to be. And I hope that you enjoyed taking a look with me. This is the final one that I'm going to be showing you today. It's from, I have to take a quick peek back, but I think this is 2021, perhaps. Like I said, I have multiple. Yeah, this is 2021. I was doing some sketchbook meditations in this book. So it's definitely 2021. And there's my cat, Susie in the Banshee shirt. There's a lot of hemi-gouache going on in this book. But yeah, sketchbooks are really important to me. So I thought I should put together a little sketchbook tour and share some of them with you. If you stuck around this long and you're watching still, well, thank you. And I hope that you enjoyed looking through the pages with me, getting a glimpse at a chunk of time in my life. So as I flip through these pages and we're coming upon the end, I just want to say, if you want to follow along with me, you can definitely subscribe to this channel on my YouTube page, or you can bookmark angiemason.com or follow Angie Mason Art on a lot of the social media channels like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. And you can see what's coming up next. I have a lot of blank pages to fill. Thanks for watching.